Hello, my name is Joy and welcome. So today I'm talking about how to film a reel. I should really say this whole thing over. There's like a plane going by right now. Bruh. Alright, hi, my name is Joy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I film my Instagram reels. I've filmed, I don't even know how many at this point, varying degrees of success, but I feel like recently it's been really working out for me. That's my main form of growth on that platform, and I feel like it's so useful to know how to film quick little bites of what you're all about and something that you find interesting and that could be really helpful to other people. All right, before we get into it, if you like what you see, go ahead, press that subscribe button. It'll probably be like somewhere up there or somewhere down there. You can find it. You find where that subscribe button is, okay? So yeah, if you like these videos, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and press subscribe for weekly videos from me. And I would love you so much. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm gonna break this up into 4 sections: the setup, the filming, the photos, and the reel itself. So all of these 4 are actually really essential to how I film my reels. I typically do a lot of beauty focused content, a lot of inspo ideas. So it's kind of a good breakup for the platform. Obviously, Instagram is a very visual platform. You want to be able to see, really. But it's obviously a very visual platform. And I think that this could really be helpful to anybody that really uses that platform for growth. Okay, so the setup. I use the Canon EOS M50 camera. It has the 15 to 45 millimeter lens attached, and it just gives me the nicest, crispiest little photos. The video always looks amazing. I believe that the lens comes with the little Canon EOS bundle. It's pretty affordable for the Canon cameras. There's obviously way more affordable cameras in this one, but I think that it's really, really nice and it's definitely worth the money for me. I've had it for about a year now and it's just worked beautifully. If you're looking for a camera recommendation, that's a really good one to try. You can use your phone and you can get just as good of video. Sometimes the photos are a little bit better with the camera, but I am really happy with what I have. So I just mount that onto a tripod and set it up right in front of this big window in my living room. I feel like that it's really important to get natural sunlight as much as possible. It's just the best lighting situation. You just can't do better than natural sun. Obviously, there's limitations with that. If you live in a really cloudy place or if you live somewhere where you don't get a lot of sun, it's kind of hard to film. But those are my best recommendations for how to get perfect, beautiful video for your reels. Another tip on the setup is the background. I try to have no pictures in the background, just like a blank living room situation. So I actually film in my living room. Right now I'm just like sitting on the ground. This is like my dining room area, I guess you could say. We don't really use a dining room table, so it's just a nice empty space with a nice blank background. It doesn't matter. I just like having a nice blank background just for my aesthetic. Now we're moving on to the filming section itself. I really like to have a good plan of what I'm going to actually be filming just before I sit in front of a camera. I don't want to waste too much time or burn too much time on my memory card. It's just for me, there's a lot that you could actually end up having to cut out, or it could actually end up not looking too good on camera. So I like to practice my looks before I do them. So if it's earlier in the week, I'll practice a makeup look that I'm thinking about filming on the weekend. Have a good plan of like, what do you want it to look like visually, and know what you're doing before you sit in front of a camera. A lot of times too, I know this happens to me a lot, especially when I started filming early on. Sometimes whenever you sit in front of a camera, you just kind of go completely brain dead and you really don't know what you're saying at all. Yeah, I think that it's really important to actually have even like a written out plan of this is what I want it to look like. I want it to be a sped through video of me doing my makeup. I want it to be 4 easy streetwear looks, or, you know, things like that, where you just have a solid plan. You know what you're wearing, you know what you're doing. It's just straight and to the point. Something else you need to keep in mind is that Instagram Reels can only be 30 seconds and TikTok's 1 minute. So you're really limited by your time and you really don't want to mess around too much with things that really aren't important to the video and really aren't going to keep people interested for the whole 30 seconds or a whole 1 minute. It's really important to know what video you want to do. For me, I have 2 main styles of videos. There's a speed reel or there's a cut reel. So the speed reels is kind of how it sounds. I just sit down, I film my whole makeup look, or I film my whole get ready process. Basically like a process video. So you're watching the whole process. There's nothing that's cut out or very few things that are cut out. and you're really just speeding through what you're doing to give people the information. Another style of video that I like doing, video number 2, which is kind of what I mostly do, is a cut video. So you have obvious cuts that get to the point really quickly. That's really important to keeping viewer retention and making sure that the whole thing's relevant and the whole thing makes sense just for the flow of the video. So for this particular video, this is a cut video for the reel that I have as an example. I believe it's already posted on my Instagram story, so you should be able to see it already. The planning process for me involved planning out what I wanted my transitions to look like. I'll show some video of like actually how I filmed it and what it looks like behind the scenes, I guess, of me filming these ridiculous transitions. It looks so silly, but it has a cool effect and you get to the point of what you're trying to do. The transitions for me, I usually film 1 or 2 different transitions per cut. So for example, I want to do a cheek transition. I'll do the cheek motion a couple of times so that I make sure I get a good cut when I'm editing and it can go a little bit smoother from there. So I really like giving myself lots of options and I want to know what I'm doing so I'm not just doing all of the transitions and it's not easy to put back together. So for me, I actually even go as far as practicing my transitions before I film them. I know it sounds so stupid, but even just like looking in the mirror and like seeing visually how that's gonna look makes all the difference when it comes to editing. Especially if you're not good at editing videos, you really want to be sure that you give future you a break when it comes to editing. So just be nice to future you. Something else that you need to be aware of if you're used to only posting on Instagram and you're not very familiar with videos is that you really will only want to film the parts that matter. So you don't want to film the whole thing is essentially what I'm saying. If you're filming the whole process of you getting ready or the whole process of whatever it is, your memory card fills up way faster than you think it would and you end up working with like 7 gigabytes of film whenever you really only needed 1 gigabyte of film. So that's something to keep in mind. Data storage is really a huge problem for a lot of people. I mean, I know I pay for so many cloud services to keep all of my data and to be able to access it frequently and edit it, but it can add up and that's something you should be aware of. Okay, so next is the photos. So this is actually a very big part of Instagram, obviously. And you want to be sure that you have photos for lots of different things, for lots of different reasons. But for me especially, I like having photos as the cover photo of the reel itself. So you're able to select a cover photo as a still image from your video, or you're additionally able to upload a separate cover photo. For me, I like uploading a separate cover photo. It's usually a lot more clear than the video itself. If you take a still from a video, it's just not like there's less pixels essentially, and it's just not as good. And you could also get really creative with what you do with your cover photo, which maybe doesn't matter to you right away. But when it comes to people discovering your page and looking at your reels all together on the reel section, it looks a lot better if it looks, more uniform. It's like a feed that you want to keep up with. For me, I make sure to take photos at the end of my makeup look. So I want to make sure that I have photos for that, for the cover photo, but also just for my feed in general. If I wanted extra photos to fill in to make my feed look spicy, I'm going to take those photos. Why am I getting so aggressive? I don't know. Okay, so another thing I take photos of are the product shots. So I film in makeup mostly, and I actually get out this little cake stand that I have just as a nice clear white background. I love it. That's where I take all of my product shots at. And again, I put it in front of this big window because the lighting's the best here in my house. You really have to figure that out for your own home situation where your lighting is actually the best. And then I just go through this weird process of organizing all of my makeup and taking a product shot. What I usually use the product shots for are actually, this is so complicated, but I use the product shots to, tell all of my Instagram followers that I posted a reel. So I'll post that to my story and be like, hey, I posted a new makeup reel. You should check it out. These are the products that are in the reel. And you know what I mean? E-feels. It's never a bad idea to have all the details explained right in front of you. You could see what's a part of the reel. That usually does not have anything to do with the reel except for the Instagram stories saying that you posted a reel. You follow? I'm sure you understand. So next is the editing phase. So this is after I've already filmed the video. I've already took all the photos that I think that may be relevant in the future for this reel. And now it's time to get to editing these. I use Lightroom to edit my photos and Premiere Pro to edit my videos. For the photos, I keep them all stored. I keep all the edited photos stored in Lightroom. I keep those in the RAW format. If you're a student or if you have a EDU email, you're able to get Adobe for a discounted price. That's what I do. I teach at a university, so I'm able to get the whole suite of tools for a discounted price, which is so nice, especially if you think that you're going to be creating for a long time, or if you just want to add some value to your platform, I guess. It's a really nice investment, and I think it's really worth it for me. So editing my photos. I edit in Lightroom on my computer. I also have the Lightroom app downloaded to my phone. So I usually go through all of my photos on my computer, edit them all up. I have one standard preset that I made a long time ago, and I basically just copy paste that over all of my photos. And if I need to do some weird touch-ups here and there, I could do that in the Lightroom app itself. So for example, sometimes I'll have like a flyaway hair in an image, or if there's like a weird shadow cast, I can just brighten that up a little bit with like a brush tool. So just things like that. It's just really easy to edit in Lightroom for me, and that's what I use to edit it. I usually edit about 30 photos anytime I'm filming just a reel, because I don't need that many photos, but about 30 every time. And that's, what is that? Maybe 200 megabytes of data. I don't know if you care about data as much as me, but I know it's a problem. And if you are familiar enough with it, it adds up really, really quickly. So keep track of that. Next, once I edited all my photos, I actually export them on my phone. And then, like I said, I use the extra photos that I'm not going to be posting as a cover photo, or not going to be posting associated with the reel, as extra content to plan my Instagram feed. Moving on to the fourth, probably most important section, the reel itself. I edit my reels in Adobe Premiere Pro. It takes a little bit to learn, but once you learn it, how to do the cuts and how to export and all of that good stuff, it's so helpful. Really, what I like most about editing in this platform and why I chose it ultimately is because it gives you a lot of flexibility and options. What do I do in Premiere Pro? I basically just cut the transitions that I planned out ahead of time. And usually you kind of know where the transitions are. So for example, in the reel that I'm doing currently, I touch my cheek and then all of a sudden blush appears. And that's kind of like the effect that I wanted. And with that, there's a lot of style that's built into your edits. So Premiere Pro really lets you do a lot of styling and makes the cuts look super smooth. It's easy to zoom in and zoom out of the timeline to get a good precise cut. Finally, I will color the video. So I do some color grading, usually just removing shadows or bringing up the exposure to make sure all of the video has consistent lighting throughout. Like I said, I use sunlight, so obviously clouds are constantly coming in and out, and it changes the way the video looks, or sometimes it's sunny, sometimes the sun's gone, just things like that. You want the whole thing to look as smooth as possible. Next, I stylize my videos. So obviously this part is super personal. Everybody's is gonna look different in this way. I think that find a style that you really like doing and go with it. So the way I stylize my reels is basically I downsample the video once I've already exported the whole thing. I got my cuts all together, the color looks nice. Then I will downsample to basically reduce the frame rate and make it look like a flip book. The frame rate initially when filming is, I believe, 30 frames per second, and I downsample it to 6 frames per second. And that's all you gotta know, I guess. If you want to do the exact same reels as me, I mean, just do the exact same reels as me, I guess. I don't know. So after you cut your transitions, colored the video, and then stylize the video to the way you like it, I then export it out to my phone, and then I upload it to Instagram. At this point, you still have some work to be done. You still need to add music to it if you are into adding music and you don't have any audio behind it. For that, I usually keep a running list of songs that would be good, like overlaid on top of any type of video of mine. So Instagram actually has a pretty huge library of songs. I haven't found a song yet that I wanted and hasn't been there. For that, you can use songs that mostly have copyrights on them, but they have a deal with Instagram to use their songs. You know what I mean? You probably know what I mean. Otherwise, if you're posting this to somewhere else, it needs to be either copyright-free music or something that you have the rights to the songs. But just keeping a general list for Instagram, you usually won't run into problems with copyright. Next, I upload it, and a lot of people may not know this, but you can actually save the reel as a draft. I usually do this, usually because I film all my content on the weekends and I don't want to post it until a weekday when more people are on Instagram or more of my audience is on Instagram. So I save it as a draft and then post it whenever I need to post it. That's pretty much it. I believe that's all the little details that you need to know about filming a reel and how I film my reels. And I think that really you should at least try to film one, even if you end up deleting it. Like, I mean, who cares? I think that if you're in the business of reaching new people and growing your audience on Instagram, then I think you really need to check out Reels. Like I said earlier in the video, it's my main source of outreach and getting new views. So yeah, the opportunity for growth in Reels in particular is really, really high right now. And it probably will continue to be for at least the foreseeable several months, which I know it sounds like not that much, but in terms of social media, it's huge. So definitely get on the game if you have not tried it already. So if you're not already, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and I would love to see your content. I would love to see what you create. There are so many creative people out there that are just like stupid creative, and I'm just like, ugh. But there are so many good ideas out there that, I mean, just film what you know and film what you love to see and be the person that you want to see on Instagram, okay? This video has been helpful for you. It'd be helpful for me if you gave it a like. So go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you did like it. And comment down below what videos you'd like to see in the future, or if there's something else that you think would be helpful for you. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I will see you at the same time, the same place next week. Bye. Okay, hello? Hi. Whew, I just feel like I haven't used my voice in a minute, so just give me a minute. I gotta use my voice for maybe 2 minutes, get it all nice and warmed up in there. I really don't talk that much, so this is a little new for me, actually. Oh, by the way, editing Joi, I just changed the, you know, the little thingy that gives you more size. I just changed that, so. Is this propaganda? This isn't turning out too hot, okay, Joi? You really gotta get your shit together. You know what, maybe I'm not ready to film today. This is, I'm just not meant to film today, okay? Like, oh, Levi texted me. Oh, Levi, how sweet. He wants to buy a home with me. That's adorable, actually.